Hello YouTube, this is a review on my Spyderco Temperance sprint run in CPM Cruwear. Let's see if this will get it. Yeah. Okay, the camera's having a hard time focusing on that lettering there. Yeah, it just doesn't want to focus on it very well. It's just, I guess it's the brushed look, and maybe it's the cross beam light. I'm going to see if I can. No, it is. Well, you can just get it. I'm using this, one of those halo lights. Okay, here we go. So anyways, I picked this up last year, 2024, and it came in two classic Spyderco configurations. This is a plain edge. And I was always on the fence to buy and buying it. I'm just making sure my camera is still recording. So anyways, it was in VG10 for a while, and I think they had it in other metals over the years. And David Anderson and Eric Glesser were at a blade show, and they were talking about it. And the thing is with this one, it's not a full tang model. So it only goes up to probably about that divot there. And some people use these knives as fighting knives, and it's got that groove in the back so you can quickly deploy it. It's got the reversible belt adapter on it, and this Kydex sheath. I don't really care for this Kydex sheath. It feels a little bit different. I might put an Alti clip on it. I'm not sure. Depends on how much I use it. I just keep it around the house because I'm not going to pack it around unless I go camping. But yeah, I've done a lot of stuff with it. It slices very well. Really good edge retention. Yeah, I just had to check on my cat there, meowing at the door. So anyways, back to this Spyderco Temperance. So a lot of people did reviews on the knife. It's been out for quite a while. There's this guy who passed away a few years ago, fellow Canadian. His name was Cliff Stamp, and I really learned a great deal from his channel. And he was just a firm believer of fixed blade knives, swords. Absolute genius when it came to metallurgy. I learned a lot about it. But this knife, of course, if he was alive, he would have definitely bought it. He probably would have complained about it not being a full tang. So Eric Glesser assured everyone that, this knife is not going to slip out from anything, like if you use it for bushcraft, even though this could be used as a fighting knife because of the divots in here. I have a tenable ray, which is a, poor man's version of a Kansept ray. But when you really factor it in, it's about $100 less. And that's another video I'll do altogether on the Tenable series. They're really good knives. They're in Sandvik. But anyways, my Tenable ray has divots in it, and then my micarta handle. And I really like it because it gives you a good grip. It's you dig your fingertips in there. It's not going anywhere. And then of course they have a K390 version of this knife that's foldable. But yeah, I always saw it in VG10, and I like VG10, but I just had to have this knife. It's just something, I never had one before, and I think the swell in it's pretty decent in the handle. And like I said, I'm learning as I go when it comes to knives. I was a guy that would just go to a gas station. I saw a shiny knife, I'd buy it, not really understanding what the metal was. And then, you get it home and you start doing some serious cutting, and you find out real quick that the gas station knife, you should have just left it at the gas station. So this knife here, the blade stock's pretty thick on it. Of course, it has the trademark Spidey hole. And it's just an overall nice looking knife. Even though it's not flashy, I feel really in control when I have this in my hand. Like, it just, the choke up, the lock up, I could see why people use this. They have a trainer of this knife for knife fighting. But I don't use knives for that. I use knives for day-to-day tasks, and I'm really becoming a fan of fixed blades because you got that guarantee, you got that reliability. And I'll just do a size comparison. This is my Kaiser Buddy, and then this is my Essie Azula. They're quite different sizes. So these knives here, I use for, part of my rotation. Usually I just carry these around the yard, when I'm doing stuff. And as you can see, I put some multi clips on them. And I'll do a video on them after this. But yeah, really decent knife for the money. It was well worth the price. And if you're able to get one, still, because they're a sprint run, pick one up. It is definitely worth it. I like the old one that had a micarta handle on it. It was a full tang knife. I've seen videos on it, but I'm just unable to buy it where I live in Canada. Knife buying up here is very limited because we have strict border, a strict border. We just can't get things across into Canada from any part of the world without border patrol taking forever to look at it, and sometimes you're just not going to get it. But I'm really fortunate that I got this. And again, my intentions with this knife is everyday carry, and I wouldn't use it for fighting because then I'd be going away to jail for a long time if I did. But yeah, if you live in a country where you're going to go to jail regardless, this knife definitely would fend off any assailant. But the whole purpose in this video is to, suggest a knife to people that's reliable. And I bet you this make a good camp knife. It's just that well made. And you could probably put it through some hard use. And of course the lanyard hold's pretty decent in it. And that upper hook there would be really good for dressing game, like opening up a rib cage on a deer if you had to dress it, or even gutting a large fish. This knife will do it. So go pick yourself one up today, and imagine down the road Spyderco will have other variants of it. This Cruwear is definitely worth buying, and you have a good day.